Straight into the next session, India, the rising star. Well, the Indian economy grew at a 7.5% in 22-23. RBI says it's going to hit a mark of 7.5% in 23-24 in terms of GDP. India indeed is a rising star, an economy that will surpass the economies of Japan and Germany to become the third largest in the world. Let's put the spotlight on India being the rising star on the global economic front and invite on stage the esteemed panelists of this session. May I please invite on stage Mr. Jaxay Shah, Chairman Quality Council of India, founder and CMD, Savvy Group. The man who's changed the face of Ahmedabad, Jaxay Shah, has previously held the position of National Chairman of CREDAI and was instrumental in taking the contribution of CREDAI to substantial heights. Please welcome him with a round of applause, everybody. May I also please invite on stage Mr. Thampy Koshy, Managing Director and CEO, ONDC, Open Network for Digital Commerce, a first-of-its-kind initiative globally to democratize e-commerce in India. Warm welcome to you, sir. He was part of the founding team of the National Security Depository Limited and served as Executive Director. I'd also like to invite on stage once again Mr. Shekhar Patel, CREDAI President-elect, who's a speaker in this session. And to moderate this session, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Ameet Desai, the founder of Anubhuti Value Trust, a SEBI-registered AIF fund with a unique investing methodology for public equities. Prior to Anubhuti, he's had very rich and very diverse experience of 36 years of having served in corporate India. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome them all and begin the session by handing over mementos to esteemed panelists. May I request Anirudh Zaveri and Ronil Shah of CREDAI Gujarat to present a memento to Mr. Jaxay Shah. May I please request Ram Reddy sir and Pranjal Patel to present a memento to Mr. Thampy Koshy. Mr. Ram Reddy and Mr. Pranjal Patel presenting the memento to Mr. Thampy Koshy, thanking him for his presence and participation at the CREDAI NatCon 2023. And may I please call upon Mr. Ellen Kovan, Tamil Nadu President, and Sanket Shah from CREDAI Gujarat to please join us on stage and present a memento to Mr. Ameet Desai. Thank you, Mr. Ameet Desai, for coming all the way and joining us here at the CREDAI NatCon. We're looking forward to your thoughts in this session. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I hand this session, India, a rising star, over to the moderator. Here we go.
Two challenges which makes this less enviable for me. When you have Dhoni, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli on the team, what do you do to play? That's the team I have. I'm very fortunate. The second is lunch is being served outside, so I'm mindful. And we will keep this session as sharply focused as we can. What we are going to do is I'm going to give you a historical perspective of how Indian economy has grown and been, and then take you forward to three very important dimensions of India, the rising star. The digital India, represented by Mr. Koshy. The quality in everything that we do, that's Jaxay. And without the real estate, there is no real economy. So Shekhar bhai here. That's my endeavor. Let's go through this short presentation. This was the actual headline in the Mint on 15th of May 2012. What's special about this? Some of the headlines that you get to read now, they resonate, if not are identical to what you read in May of 2012. What's the big difference? The big difference is BSE Sensex was 16,000 then. Today, Nifty is 19,000 plus. More importantly, Indian GDP was 1.8 trillion. Today, it's well past 3.5 trillion. So the point I'm trying to make is India has withered through many a crisis. The crude that day, by the way, was $105 a barrel. Today, it saw 96 as a high and then went down to 86. So the point I'm trying to make here is India withers through the storm, goes forward, and that is the foundation, friends, for India to become a rising star. Let's go further. As a student of history of economics that I have tried to learn, look at how the four largest economies today, US, China, Germany, and India have done since 1970. And we were a very, very small economy, just $60 billion then. And our growth rate has been nearly 8% CAGR. So is that impressive? Yes. What is more impressive is US, which was $1 trillion at that point of time, has continued to clock 6.3% CAGR. That means this milestones that we talk about, that I have arrived to 5 trillion and I'll arrive to 10 trillion, is in real life an unending, a continuous journey. And we can't really sit on our laurels. And therefore, every time we'll have to reinvent ourselves the way we are reinventing ourselves as an economy now. Let's go further. This is something that some of us may not like to see, but this is very, very important to know that in 1978, India and China were just neck to neck. $137 billion, $150 billion. The compounding that China has done is just about 4% more than what India has clocked over such a long period. And that is because China has done execution of its projects, urbanization, financial system, manufacturing, with a kind of passion and precision that has given it the second largest economy tag today. And therefore, just as I said now earlier, that execution will continue to be the challenge for India. The governments will help, the environments will help, and who does the execution? The entrepreneurs and the business leaders. So their challenges will always continue. What you, ladies and gentlemen, are doing in your business will continue to be demanded of more and more if we have to grow as a nation. Next, please. Here comes the intricate aspect of what constitutes an economy. And I have put a 20-year perspective here. If you see percentage of GDP in US, services has remained key and industry has declined. For Germany, while the economy has grown very well, their focus on industry, the manufacturing, has continued to grow, and therefore what used to be 30% of their GDP, manufacturing, is now 36%. That tells us how Germany is an exception amidst the European crisis that we keep hearing and talking about all the time. So I think focus on manufacturing cannot be wished away. Look at us as India. Our services share has remained from 50% to 40%, nearly 48%, nearly the same. And for us also, given that India's desire to push itself in the domestic and the export market with manufacturing is growing, I think it helps us to really keep growing our GDP. So the lesson for us as India is we can't grow without the three dimensions: the services, the industry that is manufacturing, and the agriculture. When you go to agriculture, just go to the next slide, please. Next, please. Here is our challenge. While US with very, very large agri production per hectare. We are struggling and way behind both US and China. Now with 52% of Indian population dependent on agri as economy foundation, I think there is a lot more that we need to pull our socks for when it comes to agriculture. Something that we should be mindful about, but it's something that can drag us down if we don't really pay attention to as a nation. Let's go forward. When intellects meet and talk, they sometimes over-criticize India for our fiscal deficit. And that is where our present government has done a phenomenal job of doing our fiscal management so well. And I'm bringing this up just to tell you that our fiscal management is really in a place where country doesn't have really to worry about it. So if we see our fiscal deficit management for over a decade is not only held consistently, but has done better than the developed nations. So this is the first requirement for the macroeconomic management as a nation that we seem to be fulfilling. I think our debt to GDP is also not really out of line, though it has grown slightly over the last 5 to 7 years. But we are way better than US, way better than UK, and certainly much better than Japan, where they just splurge themselves with debt. But where we have to learn with growth is Germany and China. And I think debt is inevitable for us as India because we are always starved of capital when we are growing. But fiscal deficit being in balance will allow us to contract more public debt. The related aspect that I would like to bring up, next please. While we keep this slide here, the related aspect that I wanted to talk about is India as a nation as household wealth of nearly $7 trillion. $7 trillion. And our household indebtedness is less than $1 trillion. That means we have a lot of room to tap public debt from the domestic saving, from very Indians, from all of us, for our own growth. Though our need for international capital cannot be denied, this is something that I wanted to bring up here. E-commerce industry, which I said is the foundation of our growth to be the real developed economy. Look at what US is doing. Of the total retail, US has 15% e-commerce, UK has nearly 27%, and India has only 6%. And that is where I think Mr. Koshy's initiative of ONDC is something that we would like to learn about, which will take us to the growth dimension. By 2030, our e-commerce market is expected to be $350 billion. Unless Koshy Sahib, you have another number which we would believe, and therefore there is a demanding CAGR of almost 23% that we are talking about. Next, please. Here is what should interest you all. We heard Anshu Jain talk of urbanization, and their report, I'm sure, must be very insightful. But our urban population, which he said has grown from 35% to now about 36-38%, is going to grow to 45%. Look at the table on the bottom of the chart. The countries which have grown so well at an accelerated rate have had very, very high urbanization, because urbanization is almost a sure shot for the economies to become developed or advanced. And therefore, share of urban economy, which is currently only 38%, which was 38%, now 63%, will be about 75% for us. Much lesser than what US, China, Japan, and Germany have in terms of their urban population and their urban contribution to the GDP. So here is the good news for all of you as the developer fraternity. In my estimate, the total population, as it is expected to be about 152 crores by 2036, of that urban population would be close to 60 crores, which will still be much less than what we have seen in the developed countries, but this will call for additional housing need of at least 25 million houses, and that is where we would take Shekhar Bhai's inputs into India, the rising star side. Next, please. So I am now going to hand over to Mr. Koshy, who will talk to us about the first leg of Digital India to be the rising star and the advanced economy, followed by Jaxay, his initial thoughts on quality in everything that we do, particularly services, because we are a hugely service-dependent economy, and then Shekhar Bhai for the views and numbers on the real estate side to make the economy much stronger. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. I'm now going to talk from the Digital India point of view. I'm talking from the vantage point of being the head of Open Network Digital Commerce, which is one of the world's first and unique initiative that India has started with the support of the government. I'm sure that most of you would have heard of it. Some of you would have experienced it. But to most of you, this hasn't started making a big difference in your business or in your life, because it just started. So I would like to make a very bold statement to sort of kick you out of your complacency and tell you to be ready for the world that is changing in the next 5 years. The first statement I'm going to say is that e-commerce, as you heard the numbers here, we are infinitesimally small. 5-6% on the buy side. When it comes to seller side, it's only 2%. And e-commerce as we know today will become completely irrelevant in the next 5 years. It is going to be a completely different world. What is the basis of my statement? Let me just put the context and then I'll run quickly. I know the time is not so. You know that in the past 10 years, 10, 12 years, India had been making humongous innovation in the digital public infrastructure. I'm sure that you are familiar with some of them. Aadhaar made 1.5 billion biometric ID, which has now become everybody's life. I remember I was a part of the team which was implementing that. I remember 10 years ago, he said, it's not going to work. We are not going to make it. Because at that time, the largest biometric database in the world was only 10 crore, and that was in US. And we were talking about 100 crore. But it became a reality. Then the Jan Dhan account, we had very low banking penetration. Today, it has changed. 52 crore of banking account got opened in the last few years. And that became the foundation on which the DBT has happened. Compared to what our old PM said, 85% of all direct benefit transfer leaking, today 100% goes to the beneficiary. Then changed UPI. 6 years ago, I remember being part of many of the conferences because I was somewhere involved, saying that this is never going to work. We are doing 215 million transactions, it's going to become 500 million in 3 years' time. What are you talking about, Koshy? Today, in 6 years' time, we are 10 billion transactions a month. And we are planning ourselves for 20 billion within the next few months. The World Economist said that the bank account penetration will take 42 years in India to reach from 18% to 80%. We did that in less than 8 years' time. 6 years to be done. And now, I'm talking about the latest in this India stack, which is Open Network for Digital Commerce, which is an idea of democratization of commerce. Supported by, you would see the endorsement coming from the highest level, whether it is to agriculture sector, retail sector, MSME, anywhere, it is going to make a change. So what's the claim that I said? In few years' time, every product or service, keep the word, every product or service, which is catalogable, which means it's not just one-to-one. It's not like Maruti, somebody making engine for Maruti. It is every product or service that is catalogable will be available in the ONDC network, open network, using this ONDC protocol. There will be different kinds of buyer application and seller applications, buyer applications who will come to help their kind of buyers buy what is relevant. Let me just quickly compare with the world that you know, because I know that all of us are completely tuned with what we call the platform kind of thinking for the past 20 years. We think that the only way to run e-commerce is run walled gardens of platforms. That's what I say on the left side. Today, if you are a seller in Amazon, you are only visible to the buyers in Amazon. If you are a seller in Swiggy, you are only visible to the buyer in the Swiggy. And if you are a car driver in Uber, you are only visible to the buyers because they are all walled gardens. So if any seller want to be in multiple ones, they have no option but to create technically, logically, contractually, legally, everything get assigned to so many. That means such a model of walled gardens will lead to concentration. The whole world is struggling. The Americans are struggling, the Europeans are struggling, and the Chinese are struggling. The Europeans are struggling, trying to address it through regulation. China is trying to address it through control, and we are trying to address it through technology, markets, and enabling policy. So what you see in the right side is the new world. It is not, we started only in few months ago, and so in few years' time you would see all this changing. So if you are a seller registered to any one platform, that's why you in the side, you will be visible to any buyer coming from any buyer platform. So you would see, what you're going to see is innovation and specialization galore. So please understand, there's no NDC platform, there's no NDC app. It is going to be different buying app. For you, if you are a buyer, different buying application will help you. It could be, today there are at least 6, 7 of them, and maybe in a year's time you'll see probably 20, 30, 40. Today you've seen Paytm, PhonePe, Ola, all of them have come and said, I'm going to help my customers discover whatever that is possible in the network. It could be fashion, it could be food, it could be consumer products. And we just started B2B also. So it is just a population size program like this, which was started 6 months ago, have got fantastic tractions. You see in January, we had, 50 transactions per day. Today we have peaked at 187,000 transactions a day. In January we did total 1,000 transactions. In September we did 3.2 million transactions. And that too only, we started only with 2 most difficult domain, grocery and food, and mobility. And mobility went through the roof, food followed, and the rest coming. And all the other components we just started. We just introduced B2B last month. It is already in 1 month time, more than 30, 40,000 transactions, all growing. And the fantastic that we have more than 200,000 merchants registered, and all these numbers, and by next year just add 1 0. That's kind of growth that we are going to see. And we are present across the country. It has made a difference to variety. I just want to see the kind of variety. Whether it is a weaver of Kanchipuram who had no market access except to sell it to one of the large brands, today directly sell. In the last few months, they have some 8 or 10 of them who have come and sell more than 20 lakh worth of goods. And the SHG network of Kerala, I'm just giving some random example. They have already made their product visible all across the country. Even you can buy from Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, anywhere. They have already made more than 1,200 orders. SHG is a women's self-help group. Look at the auto driver who says that my monthly income had tripled. That's a kind of thing. So what is it is going? It is bringing together commerce, logistics, and finance, all coming together to transform. And if I just, like always, if somebody is endorsing, you feel nicer. Unless that it's going to be an 80 billion economy. The McKinsey report, it's available on, these things are all available in public. They said it is going to make a humongous, they have done a very detailed study on industry-wise impact, 3 to 4 times of potential growth. So, I know that you may want to have questions. So what we are saying that this is going to be the foundation on which we are aspiring for the 10 trillion economy. And all this is not possible without our faith in quality. So that's why I'm so nice to have Jaxay ji sitting next to me. So he's promised me that he'll ensure quality certification for every business in this country. Thank you, Jaxay ji, and over to you.
Hello. Can I have the presentation on the slide? Yeah. So, good afternoon, friends. It's my privilege and a great opportunity to be amongst you, not as a CREDAI office bearer, first time in life in the CREDAI platform, but as a QCI chairman. And thanks to my mother institute, CREDAI, whatever I am, and only because of the CREDAI and CREDAI and CREDAI. CREDAI taught me, CREDAI has nurtured me, groomed me to reach at this level because of all these years of last 16, 18 years, what I have learned in CREDAI, I just trying to give that to the society or maybe in QCI as whole. So, आप लोगों को मैं खाली एक पूछना चाहता हूँ, I am from tier 2 city. कितने लोग यहाँ पर tier 2 cities से हैं, tier 3 cities से हैं? हाथ ऊपर करिए. You should be proud of that. Okay, I am amongst you. So this is for, because QCI believes to grow horizontally. QCI believes to go to the village by village, city by city. QCI believes quality should be in DNA of this nation. It's not about the manufacturing and services, but quality is in DNA. और friends, quality किसको बोलते हैं आप? Quality आप जब implement करते हो, best quality जब कोई देख नहीं रहा हो. That is, now we have to learn, not only as CREDAI, but as whole India nation, when प्रधानमंत्री जी बोल रहे हैं कि इंडिया को डेवलप कंट्री बनाना है 2047 में. So everybody talks about that. सारे numbers आ गए हैं. This was Amrit Kal 75 years. But what about the next 25 years? Is not Amrit Kal anymore or not celebrating 100 years. It's about the Kartavya Kal that we all have to do together. We all have to do for this developed country march. हम सब मिल के काम करेंगे तो ही ये अचीव या संभव हो सकता है हम सब साथ में. Unfortunately, फ्रीडम मूवमेंट में या दांडी यात्रा में कोई जगह हमको ये चांस नहीं मिला पार्टिसिपेट करने का, लाइक आवर फोरफादर्स. भगवान ने ये और ये करंट गवर्नमेंट एंड बिकॉज ऑफ द लीडरशिप ऑफ नरेंद्र मोदी जी वी हैव चांस नाउ. ये डेवलप कंट्री यात्रा में हम सब लोग जुड़े. तो मैं आपको क्वालिटी मिशन के लिए आपको थोड़ा सा 4-5 स्लाइड में, बिकॉज सम ऑफ द नंबर्स अमित जी ने और कोशी जी ने दे दिए हैं. आई ओनली नरेट और ओनली गो थ्रू द ओवरऑल व्हाट QCI इज. QCI is interesting, ensuring trust through autonomy. It's an autonomous body. And QCI believes in Bharat taking the center stage. Bharat as a catalyst of change and quality march towards a Viksit Bharat. So QCI was set up in a fully autonomous, in line with the international practices. It is a non-profit organization, autonomous body, and we are in the purview of CAG and we are in the purview of the RTI also, and which was formed with a cabinet note and government of India in 1997. So what are the basic, I just will stand up here and then we'll let you know. So it was, everybody knows now, it was ranked 5th in Global Infrastructure Index. After all these years, we could achieve the QCI, the accreditation program, ranked 5th in Global Quality Infrastructure Index. Unfortunately, मैंने अभी भी बताया, इस देश में एक्सपोर्ट और इंपोर्ट जो हो रहा है, वो आपको नंबर्स पता है, आपको प्रोडक्ट कौन सी आ रही है जा रही है पता है, बट इन आवर पोर्ट्स एंड एयरपोर्ट्स वी कुड नॉट मेजर किस क्वालिटी का माल आ रहा है, किस क्वालिटी का माल जा रहा है. वी हैव बिकम द डंप यार्ड इन दिस नेशन. कोई भी लोग यहाँ माल फेंकते हैं और हम इसको यूज़ करते हैं. Like अभी इसके पहले शर्विल ने और जिनल ने बताया, we should be what cognizant about what kind of quality we are producing. Mandate जो QCI का है is mandate upholding the quality in India and the lives of Indian citizen. So QCI has set up the boards and division, हमारे कई boards हैं, to cater each aspects of the mandate. आप लोगों ने नाम सुना होगा NABH, NABL and NABET. So to establish and operate national accreditation programs, we have NABCB, we have NABL, NABH and NABT. Products, lab, hospital education. To conduct the third-party assessment, we have a PPID. 1,200 plus professionals across India we have. And all is the average age of 26 years. To run a nationwide quality campaign, we have an MBQP board. To catalyze Indian industry competitiveness, we have a zero effect, zero defect. To develop a capacity for quality in emerging areas, we have a PAD and TCB for the yoga, all the trainings you have seen across the globe, that QCI is giving the certificate to the yoga instructor and all. We have Ayush, we have a drone, and we have training capacity also. And to augment government's capacity in quality, we have a policy unit that is a Made in India. Friends, after the Develop India mission, during that, आप लोगों को पता है मेड इन जर्मनी, मेड इन जापान की कोई भी चीज़ खरीदते हैं तो यू आर टेकिंग अ प्राउड, और मे बी यू डोंट हैव एनी डाउट अबाउट दैट प्रोडक्ट. ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर वांट्स इंडिया की भी ये प्रोडक्ट होनी चाहिए, एंड लेट्स मेक अ प्राउड एंड मेक इंडियन प्रोडक्ट जिसको लेके हर एक लोग दुनिया में मेड इन इंडिया को लेके वो प्राउड ले सके. सो वन ऑफ द फ्यू ऑफ आवर, मैं सारे नहीं बताऊंगा, टाइम है कंस्ट्रेन. One of our flagship projects, you must have seen the दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा सर्वेक्षण, that was the Swachh Sarvekshan 2021, world largest cleanliness survey, pioneered by QCI in 73 cities, 2016, and 2021 edition over 4,300 urban local bodies were covered in recent, and record 45 days में QCI ने लड़कों ने ये किया था. Second is a JAM. JAM is a vendor assessment for promoting quality products in the JAM protocol. ONDC you have just heard, because ONDC was incubated in QCI. Fourth is Coal India, third party sampling, testing and analysis of the coal quantity sample, 80 to 100 metric ton per year. And we have 1,100 personnel deployed across more than 200 locations. FCI, FCI for the bringing end-to-end traceability, minimize leakages, quality and quantity, and continuous monitoring. So, Bharat taking center stage is not something I am just preaching a political statement, but we all should be proud of our nation, recognized as a Bharat or India, but as a Bharat, I like to have a narrative in this global platform. So I'll not go through the numbers because Ameet ji and Koshy, you're told about this. So what we have to see there is that we are the third largest startup ecosystem. Almost 60,000 startups already registered in India today. We have India's share of manufacturing expected to increase by 21% of the GDP by 2031. What now coming to the quality expectation from the local citizen? Improved infrastructure facilities since 2014 for children of New India in the schools, hand wash facility, medical checkup, electricity, library. ये बोलने में आपको लग रहा है कि ये क्यों बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन आपको पता है इतने सालों से we were deprived, our school in villages, they were deprived of this facility. Now we are coming and we are doing very fast in the speed and scale also. And India's categorically wise export share, I think the pharmaceutical exports soared to rupees 2 lakh crore, making India's 125 rise since 2030. I think the leaders are here, they will agree also. So I am just relating the growth numbers, India shining number, and what we required for the quality. So growing 8% over the next 25 years, India has opportunity to grow by 7x. But what important is ensuring quality at every step is pivotal. Only then you can grow, translate into sustainable development and real benefits. India's middle class, ये सबसे जरूरी है हमको जानने के लिए. Is their ability to spend would be a key driver growth. And financial year 2032, consumption will have a 58% share of India's GDP. That means they will expect quality in every product. So with a surge of consumption expenditure, we'll have to maintain the quality. And share of India's working age population, this is very important. Working age population, total population will reach to highest level, close to 70% by 2030. So with such a significant portion, India's population entering the working age, quality education and skilling is not an option, but it's very critical. I think you have gone through this presentation, Ameet ji, you must have, the research and innovation we require, that Shavil told us, becoming a global medical hub, world-class quality manufacturing capacities, and state-of-the-art physical and digital infrastructure we need to make. So what we are doing in this is almost a year, I become a Quality Council India chairman. And first I was told that QCI mein aap chairman ho rahe ho. Then I Googled it, what is the full form of the QCI? Because everybody, this is a 25-year-old association, autonomous body. And I have a great legacy. The first chairman was Ratan Tata and Mr. Amitabh Kant and Adil Zainul Bhai. So that's a great legacy and responsibility. Constitutionally, Honorable PM appoints. So itna main dar gaya that, to be very frank, I was feeling like a small fish in a big ocean. तो तब से मैं खाली पढ़ रहा हूँ और कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ 10 महीने से, लेकिन trying to kind of percolate the quality at the grassroots level. So out of that, the first thing we are doing is Sarpanch Samvad. Friends, आज के इंडिया में there are 250,000 सरपंचेस and each सरपंच 10 से 15 गांव है. So that means the population is 60 to 70 crore. What we are trying at QCI, we have a common platform app for the Sarpanch that not only preach but practice quality at grassroots level, cleanliness, skilling, or maybe education, the grassroots, Anganwadi mein, dropout ratio mein. We have a Gunavanta Sankalp quality. So we are working with the state governments. We are working with the state government, we are working with the Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra. Last month we have a MOU with the Maharashtra government to deal with their public grievances, because we are working with the 60 ministries with the DRPG also. And we are also assessing PM's grievances, common citizen grievances also. The same thing we are doing with the Maharashtra government also. Many states, we are guiding them for the restructuring, digitization, relayering. Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, even the UP में काफ़ी infrastructure काम जो हो रहा है, buildings, infrastructure, public buildings में, we are checking up the quality there also. And industry connect, one of the many industry, यहाँ पर काफ़ी लोग बैठे हैं, उनके साथ भी we are direct, because industry के साथ काफ़ी vendor जुड़े हुए हैं. One of them is Maruti Suzuki, we are working with them. So now, what CREDAI can do? Because my heart and soul with the CREDAI, here is a chance, आप सब लोग जोड़ सकते हैं. And thanks to Jitu Bhai, he is leading CREDAI Nasik chapter. We have more than 230 chapters. I invite you to join in this moment. Nasik में हमने क्या किया? We have a Nasik Municipal Corporation Implementation Authority. QCI is a strategic partner, knowledge support. CREDAI is leading design and operation support for the quality in the city. And Nasik Citizen Forum है हमारे साथ, श्री रामकृष्ण आरोग्य संसाधन है, एंड लोकल NGOs, करीब 40 एसोसिएशन है. हम सिटी को क्या हेल्प कर सकते हैं? आपकी स्मार्ट सिटी जो, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल्सो असेसिंग 100 स्मार्ट सिटी इन इंडिया. वी आर ऑल्सो डूइंग अ नल से जल प्रोग्राम. We are also doing with the law and order, all the DGs of India, we are assessing them, helping them for the law and order assessment in the different state. तो हम क्या करना चाहते हैं? This is a pro bono. QCI is not charging anything. किसी भी सिटी में cleanliness, skilling, even the आंगनवाड़ी में education, ये सब के लिए आपके साथ काम करेंगे। आपको कहाँ का लेटरल इंटरवेंशन की ज़रूरत है। सो देयर इज़ नो कन्फ्लिक्ट बिटवीन स्मार्ट सिटी एंड क्वालिटी सिटी। वी आर हियर, वी आर देयर टू सपोर्ट यू, टू जस्ट पुट अ चेरी ऑन आइजिंग। मैं आप सबको बिकॉज मैंने देखा है Tier 2-3 सिटी में काफ़ी फायर है, एस्पिरेशन ज़्यादा है, और इज़ नथिंग टू डू विद द मेन सिटीज़, ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन वो लोग कुछ ज़्यादा एस्पिरेशन है, देन आई लव टू वर्क विद देम ऑल्सो। So this is the first approach we are doing in the.
Jaxay, can we wrap it up in next 30 seconds?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you.
So मैंने आपको बताया मिशन स्केलिंग, मिशन क्लीन सिटी एंड मिशन एजुकेशन. So some of the photographs of the last. So this is the last slide. मैंने आपको बताया we can from building homes brick by brick to creating a Viksit Bharat, one small dream at one time. It's quality march to become a developed country. Thank you.
Can I request Shekhar bhai to talk about the real economy to become the real developed economy?
रियल एस्टेट नंबर्स तो काफ़ी सारे लोगों को यहाँ पता ही है, पर फिर भी जो काफ़ी सालों से बात हो रही है कि कितने घर की ज़रूरत है। तो अमित भाई, आपके जो प्रेजेंटेशन में था 22.5 मिलियन होम्स, मेरे हिसाब से 7 करोड़ घर की ज़रूरत है नेक्स्ट 7 ईयर्स में। जो आपका जो कैलकुलेशन है दैट इज़ बेस्ड ऑन कि लोग जो घर में पर जो कच्चे घर में रह रहे वो पक्के घर में रहने जाएंगे, झोपड़पट्टी में रह रहे वो पक्के घर में जाएंगे। तो हमारे लिए 7 करोड़ घर का मार्केट है नेक्स्ट 7 साल में। तो नीड है, अभी जो वांट है वो वांट क्रिएट हो रही है कि इंडिया की इकोनॉमी का ग्रोथ हो रहा है। जिस तरह से पहले 1 ट्रिलियन से 2 ट्रिलियन होने में 10 साल लगे, 2 से 3 ट्रिलियन होने में 5 साल लगे, 3 ट्रिलियन से अभी 4 ट्रिलियन, हर साल में $1 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी इम्प्रूव होने वाली इंडिया की। तो इंडिया 5 ट्रिलियन तो मेरे ख्याल से 2027-8 में क्रॉस कर लेगा। और काफ़ी उससे भी अभी जो प्रेजेंट किया गया है नंबर काफ़ी अच्छा करेंगे। और ये सब हो गया तो हमको तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है, हमको तो घर बनाते रहना है, बेचना रहना है। कोशी साहब कस्टमर के पैसे बचाएंगे, रिटेलर्स को पैसे कमाएंगे, तो वो सब पैसा कहाँ डालेंगे? हमारे भाई लोगों को ही देंगे ना पैसा। तो जो वांट थी, हमको नंबर्स पता थे, जिसको घर लेना था वो था, ज़रूरत थी, पर पैसा नहीं था। पर इंडिया के कंज्यूमर के पास आज पैसा आ रहा है, बॉटम लेवल तक एग्री कॉमोडिटी, एग्रीकल्चर इनकम से लेके बाकी सब इनकम जो हो रही है, उसके कारण हमारे कंज्यूमर के पास पैसा आ रहा है। तो उसको जो घर चाहिए था वो खरीदने की उसकी ताकत बन रही है। तो रिक्वायरमेंट थी पर पैसे की वजह से घर नहीं ले सकते थे, वो अभी आज सिनेरियो नहीं रहा है। तो पिछले 1-2 साल के आप नंबर देखें तो इंडिया का जो हाउसिंग नीड था वो बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड वाज लार्जर, यानी 30 लाख रुपए का घर है, 50% घर में रिक्वायरमेंट वहीं पर थी 30 लाख के नीचे के। फिर 10% घर है वो 30 से 50 लाख, 50 लाख से 70 लाख। तो 90% तक के घर, जो 90% हाउसिंग सप्लाई की डिमांड थी, वो डिमांड 60-70 लाख तक पूरी हो जाती थी। पर लास्ट ईयर के आप नंबर देखो तो वो नंबर्स काफ़ी इम्प्रूव हो गए। वो 30 लाख तक के घर है, वो 50% की जगह पे अभी आ गया है 27%। और 50 लाख, 30 लाख से 70 लाख का जो ब्रैकेट है, दैट हैज़ इम्प्रूव फ्रॉम 20% टू 35%, 38% इनफैक्ट। तो एक जो माहौल बन रहा है, तो ऊपर के हिसाब से भी घर बनने चालू हो गए हैं। और पिछले 2 साल में हम देख रहे हैं हमारा सबका बिजनेस अच्छा चल रहा है कि नहीं भाई? कि अभी भी प्रॉब्लम्स है? प्रॉब्लम्स तो रहेंगे, पर माल बिकता है कि नहीं? और क्यों ठंडे है सब?
लंच चाहिए आई थिंक।
तो अभी टाइम भी लंच का हो गया है और काफ़ी सारा समय। तो जिस तरह से इंडिया ग्रो हो रहा है और जो नंबर्स की बात है, नंबर्स जीडीपी ग्रोथ में इंडिया का क्या, रियल एस्टेट का क्या असर रहेगा, वो सब मुझे बोला गया है बोलने के लिए तो बोल देता हूँ, पर वो सबको पता है कि 7 to 8% जीडीपी में भाई जो हमारा कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो दिखता 7 to 8% है, पर इनडायरेक्टली वी आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग और वी आर टचिंग 50% ऑफ इंडिया जीडीपी. 50 because we are largest consumer of 250 industries. They have their share of 1%, 2%, like steel industry. Steel industry has a share of 2% in the GDP. So we are their largest consumer. Bankers are here. So जो बैंक का जो शेयर है जीडीपी में, सर्विस इंडस्ट्री का ओवरऑल जो शेयर है उसमें से बैंक का शेयर कुछ 20% के आसपास है सर, आउट ऑफ दैट सर्विस इंडस्ट्री. तो बैंक का जो ओवरऑल शेयर है उसमें 20% शेयर रियल एस्टेट का है, कंज्यूमर फाइनेंस एंड रियल डेवलपर फाइनेंस. तो 35 लाख करोड़ का रियल एस्टेट बुक है कंज्यूमर फाइनेंस का ही ओनली. तो उनके रिटेल फाइनेंस में 50% से ज़्यादा हाउसिंग लोन्स होती है और दैट इज़ मोस्ट सेफ लोन्स. तो वहाँ पर से 6% का जीडीपी इफेक्ट करता है रियल एस्टेट. तो ओवरऑल ये नंबर में मिलाते जाऊंगा तो हमारा कंट्रीब्यूशन टू जीडीपी इज 50%, डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट, नॉट ओनली 7 and 8%. वी शुड बी प्राउड ऑफ यू, ऑल द डेवलपर्स, प्राउड ऑफ अस.
We definitely need a leader like him to pep us up. And I think we really believe in what you are saying. Please go ahead.
तो अभी जो नेक्स्ट इंडिया 2047 में डेवलप इकोनॉमी की जो बात चल रही है, जो डेवलप इकोनॉमी करने के लिए सबसे ज़्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हमारी रहेगी. क्योंकि ये जो नंबर 50% जीडीपी बोले वो तो एक बात है, पर दूसरी बात इसके कारण रियल एस्टेट की डिमांड नेक्स्ट 10-15 साल तक रुकने वाली है नहीं. काफ़ी डिमांड रहेगी. जो 2-3 साल से मार्केट चल रहा है, काफ़ी लोगों के क्वेश्चन होते हैं अभी कितना चलेगा मार्केट, कब रुकेगा, कैसा होगा. अभी 10-15 साल इंडिया में कुछ रुकने वाला नहीं है, सब चलने वाला है. फार्मा भी चलने वाला है, पावर भी चलने वाला है, रियल एस्टेट भी चलने वाला है. एवरीथिंग विल डू गुड इन इंडिया फॉर नेक्स्ट 15 years. सो फ्रेंड्स, आराम में समय कम बिताए और काम में ज़्यादा बिताए. थैंक यू.
So I'm going to take.
On behalf of Koshy and ONDC, I request all of you, ONDC, अभी जो फेस्टिवल सीजन आ रहा है आपका, दिवाली, नवरात्रि एंड ऑल क्रिसमस, आई रिक्वेस्ट कि ONDC नेटवर्क में ई गिफ्ट कार्ड्स, मैंने तो मेरे एम्प्लॉयज़ में और सब जगह QCM ने किया है. आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू कि ई गिफ्ट कार्ड्स आपके एम्प्लॉयज़ के लिए, पार्टनर्स के लिए, सेलिब्रेट के लिए आप करिए. इट्स कॉल्ड द वोकल फॉर ग्लोब. तो आप सबको मेरा रिक्वेस्ट, नम्र निवेदन है कि ये ONDC का ई गिफ्ट कार्ड आप जस्ट अपने एम्प्लॉय के लिए करवाइए. थैंक यू.
Certainly. So we are just about coming to the close. I think we have a tremendous quality orientation building through QCI. Jaxay asked each of you chapters to start taking advantage the way Nashik has pioneered the idea. We have the counsels of Koshy Saab here, and you should utilize some time interacting with him and learn about that. Shekhar bhai is an ever eternal optimist, just as I am, and therefore this was very, very encouraging. Shekhar bhai, thank you for saying that. I would always like to conclude in one simple rule, that's called rule of 72. So rule of 72 tells you how soon something can get doubled. If you say I'm growing at 12%, you will double in 6 years. Currently, Indian economy, which is comprising of even agriculture, is doubling in less than 6 or 5 years. That means real estate industry should target itself to double every 3 to 4 years. And then what Baman was asking in terms of investing in real estate is not what you will have to ask for. I think people will come chasing your cold dates. Thank you. On that note, let's join for lunch.
Thank you, esteemed panelists, for your participation, and thank you to the moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for lunch, a session that's called India, a rising star led to your hunger rising. Aaiye pet puja karte hain. Lunch is served in the pre-function area. May I please see you all back in your seats at 3 o'clock sharp, which is 30 minutes from now. We have a 30 minutes lunch break only, please, because we're trying to catch up time that we lost in the morning. So please be back in your seats in 30 minutes from now. And of course, please do enjoy your lunch. Thank you.